Deep in the heart of the Shenandoah Valley. Do you know what valley we're in? Are we in a valley?
Shenandoah Valley sounds good to me.
I don't know where we are. We're in Blacksburg, Ohio State. 42-24 over Virginia Tech. Bill, here's the question. Doug Lesmarie, Ari Wasserman, Bill Landis, your Ohio State coverage team for cleveland.com. Did you ever think Ohio State was maybe going to lose?
Yeah, I did in the first half when it looked like the offense was maybe falling into some of those lulls that we saw for the good part of last season where they looked great for the first 2 drives and then couldn't move the ball for 3 or 4 drives and turned it over and missed a field goal and had a punt in there. I thought at halftime when Virginia Tech scored with like 15 seconds left to go up 17-14 that there was a good shot that Ohio State could lose this game. And then second half, Braxton Miller happened. 2 huge plays from Braxton Miller were really kind of the turning point. Virginia Tech loses its quarterback, which is obviously a blow to them, but Miller to me was the big key to Ohio State not losing a game that they probably should have ended up winning.
Hater. Never in doubt. Just kidding. What did you think of Braxton Miller? We saw him catch. We saw him catch and run. We saw him run. We saw him make big plays. Did you think we would see that in game one? No, I don't want you to say you're wrong. I want you to evaluate the performance of Braxton Miller the first time he ever played receiver as a college football player.
I thought he played outstanding, and I'm willing.
So and beyond that, what's next then if he did this in game one?
I mean, I don't know. You wrote the Braxton story. I mean, I don't know how many receptions he had off the top of my head. Was it 3 or 4? 2? But the ones that he did make were spectacular catches downfield, and those are the types of catches that I told you guys in my predictions that I didn't think he was capable of making yet because he didn't know the position well. So what's ahead? I mean, the guy's fast. He's elusive. He can shake you like nobody. I mean, I think he could be a very good receiver and potential. I mean, I don't want to go too far, but maybe a first-day draft pick by the end of this year when I thought he wasn't ever going to play this position. So there's a certain ability that he has with the football in his hands that you can't describe, and he certainly exceeded my expectations from what he'd be able to do just be playing this position for fall camp. And it does seem like he is a real live threat in this offense. I thought that was going to be something that takes time, but now you watch that film, every team on the schedule is going to have to prepare for him.
The big plays, like there were so many big plays. The Braxton Miller runs, the Braxton Miller catches, the 24-yard touchdown pass to start it off to Curtis Samuel. J.T. Barrett, when he got in the game, he ran 40 yards on one play. Ezekiel Elliott had an 80-yard touchdown run. Are they going to do this to everybody? Like, is this what the offense is going to be, that week after week they're just going to bust 50-yarders?
I mean, by the nature of the schedule, sometimes yes, depending on who they're playing, and certainly the next few games, I think we can expect them to do that. In Big Ten play, I don't know. It seems like it's going to look different than it looked all of last year when it was kind of methodical and JT was hitting short passes more so than he was hitting anything deep down the middle of the field. The thing we didn't see was Ezekiel Elliott running the ball. So I think he got 11 carries, I think, against Virginia Tech. When they get into games where Urban Meyer gets Elliott the ball 20 to 25 times, which is what he wants, I think maybe we'll see less of the big shot and more of the 7 to 10 play drives where it's a lot of Elliott carrying the ball. But I think the idea with Cardale, a quarterback, is take the shot, and hit some big ones.
And I think it was 556 yards of total offense. And Urban Meyer was like, well, the offensive line could play better. And Cardale was only, completed half his passes. And it felt like they gained 556 yards. They gained 50 yards a pop whenever they wanted to. But there were moments when it was like, well, it can be better than this.
I thought it looked like Virginia Tech at times tried to defend Ohio State very similarly to the way they did last year. And the team that they're facing now is not the team that they faced last year. They're drastically better across the board, whether it comes to the running back, to the quarterback, to the offensive line, to the receivers. I mean, everything. Even like they hit what they couldn't do last year was hit over the top, and they did it multiple times today. And they did break off runs through the heart of their defense where there were no safeties to catch them. So everything Virginia Tech tried to do defensively, I think Ohio State did a good job of combating, and they just have better talent. And I think that the talent and that's why I never thought they were going to lose, because the first 2 minutes or 2 drives of the game, you could just tell the talent gap. And, they hit lulls, and that's going to happen. It's college football. They're not just going to roll to 60-0 every week. But I just think that you could tell that they were a lot better than them, and they took advantage just of having – and Ed Warner said they out-athleted them.
See you in November.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, Ari, break down Hawaii's defense and how the Fighting Rainbows or whatever they are going to beat Ohio State on Saturday. Okay, so we'll find things to write about, but if they did this to Virginia Tech, I think we all thought Virginia Tech's defense coming in was pretty good. We thought Kendall Fuller was pretty good. Their defensive line we thought was pretty good. And until they get to Michigan State now, the caveat is the day they beat themselves, the day they are overconfident, the day they have the dropsies, the day they fumble, whatever.
And that was kind of today a little bit.
They did.
They did.
The second quarter was that.
Yeah, I mean, there was that fumbled snap and deflected passes, that interception. I mean, that all kind of accumulated in one quarter, and they gave up 17 points in a quarter. Yeah. So, like, that would have to, I mean, and I think that kind of shows you just how deep this team is, because this is, is Virginia Tech the third best or second best team they're going to play all year?
Third. It depends how good you think Michigan's going to be, maybe. And if somebody else.
Certainly the best.
Maybe
team
Minnesota. Yeah. Yeah, Bill's going to research great teams that lost, because I think that's the territory that we're in. You know, that's the thing I've been saying is they're the best team. So what's going to stop them? Well, what's going to stop them is the day when the best team doesn't win, which happens all the time in sports. I mean, it's not like it's impossible. But you saw them be vulnerable for a quarter today, and then you saw them turn it on. Any more?
No, you nailed it.
It's 3 o'clock.
I don't know, man. Like, it was like Ezekiel Elliott only got 11 carries. You know, like, it's just like as good as it was. It's like it's weird to think that it can be better, but I think it can.
And they welcome back half their team next week.
Yeah, and by the way, they missed Jalen Marshall and Dontre Wilson and Corey Smith and Joey Bosa. He's Ari Wasserman. He's Bill Landis. I'm Doug Lamarice. We're back. Ohio State has started again, and we will find a way to make this interesting because they're really good, man. Thanks.